just one, in Uyo. And so he will be looking at a whole lot of things affecting the educational sector, both in private and public schools. I am Miriam Ekbutu, and so good to have you on Issues Today. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
Yeah,
madam.
it's really good to have you on Issues Today. We like to know what are your greatest strength. How did you get into the private sector of education?
Well, throughout my life, I've been in the teaching sector. I've taught in the secondary school. I've taught in the university. I've headed schools. So, as one would expect, when I leave that sector, no more working for individuals, uh, I definitely felt how I can use the knowledge I've gained so far was for me to start up something in that direction.
You said individuals, you never worked for government?
No, I've never worked for government before.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. So you gathered the knowledge and then decided to, start up yours.
Exactly so.
Okay. What is the philosophy of your school?
Our concept, we believe that nature nurtures nation. Nature nurtures the nation. So that's our philosophy.
Okay. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Not quite much.
Okay.
I attended schools in Nigeria and outside the country. And it wasn't quite easy anyway, but we manage ourselves within and outside the country. Get the experience there back to Nigeria, and we get to realize that at 40, 30 and 20 down is the time to run around and try to package oneself. At 60 above, one has to be a giver, not a receiver.
A giver,
Not
not a receiver.
not a receiver, yes.
Are you sure you are actually giving out?
Exactly.
Okay.
Giving out knowledge is the best gift one can give.
But it's not for free.
Of course, I would say it's for free.
Really?
Because education can be grouped into two:
Wow.
the low price education and the high price education. I believe that running a school is not meant to receive, or it's meant to give out. So the fee should be brought down to a level that the less privileged parents should be able to afford.
Okay.
It isn't how costly education is that makes it highly prized. No, it is not.
So how much is your tuition fee?
Uh,
The
we-
tuition fee in your school, how much is it?
At school, well, for now, we charge 10,500 per term.
Because I know there are some schools that primary nursery school, that parents pay up to 150,000, 100,000 per term. I'm not talking about secondary school. Secondary school, there are some secondary school that parents pay 300 and something thousand, 200 and something thousand, and we don't even talk about private universities, where parents would pay more than $500,000 for just 3 months. And after 3 months, you are expected to pay again. And you said you are giving out for free. How free is that? Because we are looking at, the private schools now and what they are contributing educationally to the educational sector, and how it affects our people here.
Like I've said, it's not how costly education is makes it
Okay,
more
the
valuable.
fee, not how costly the fee is.
Yes.
That makes it
more valuable.
okay.
You know, when fees are high, there are people who like things that are costly, even when they are not good. But let it be costly. Not only in schools, even in clothing, even in feeding. So at times we go in for a status symbol things. I want to maintain a status. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm doing this. See the cost, no? It's a rating.
So is it a mental kind of issue
No,
that we think the more expensive a thing is, a product is, the more valuable it becomes?
it's a society. It's the society that makes people reason one way or the other. So if the society feels or give the impression that until I have what is higher, then I'll be seen as something or somebody who has a value, others will follow.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. The best schools, one of the best schools in the world used to be Harvard.
Okay.
But today, there are so many other institutions that are more affordable than Harvard, but it still come out with the same what? The same degree, the same qualification whatsoever. But the rating now is not what that person comes out with, but how one can use what they claim he has owned to add a value to the society.
All right. But you see, I before we came on this program, I just I had some discussions with some private school owners, some teachers, and some parents. Like a personal vox pop for me. Some private school owners believe that their efforts and initiatives in establishing schools, have not been, should I say, appreciated by government, and they believe government should come up and support them financially. And I ask you, do you agree to that government should support private school owners?
Let me look at it this way. I don't personally believe that everything should be done by government.
Okay.
Government is dynamic. If a particular government does this year, next year another government comes in, may do things a different way. But then if government want to support school, that should be at government discretion, not at the request of the private school owners, not necessarily. Because private schools are merely complementing a little gap that government may not be able to fill. That's where public goes in. And now already the existing schools, there are enough bites for the government to swallow. Enough bite for government to swallow. So by the time government will go into public schools, government go to private schools, maybe very soon government may equally start to feed everybody individually without even working. So
And I asked one of the proprietors, I met. I said, what was your intention of establishing this school? He said, people are saying that school establishment, private school establishment is for monetary gain, that it's not for monetary gain. And I asked him, how much do you charge in your school? And he said 85 to 100,000 for new intake. And I asked him, how many people do you think will be able to afford that? And he said, people are paying. Do you think the establishment of these schools are not for monetary gains?
to some extent, no investment that will not have a little return on investment behind it. There should be a return in investment. But then the return is then to be used in servicing that investment. Just service it and keep it going. But then, if the returns is too high, that under deep analysis, one may be pushing the parents to pay more than what they ought to have paid. Like I said earlier on, it's a matter of taste. But there are some parents who will not go for a costly institutions. There are some parents like that. So personally, I not go into educational sector because I want to make money, so to say. No, not really. Because the highest returns in investment and the highest way private school could support the government is to ensure that the price of education is not high. Yes, because that is the only way. That is the only way one can support the growing of knowledge among the youths in particular. For instance, now, we are developing a particular group program called Edu Support, Education for Disadvantaged Youths in the rural communities. We call it Edu Support, supporting young ones to acquire knowledge at a reasonable cost. And we are looking at about 100 per every local government in Akwa Ibom State.
100 youths.
100 youths.
Okay.
In Akwa Ibom State.
Is it a kind of scholarship?
It's a tuition-free support program. Tuition-free support program.
That is almost like a scholarship.
Yes, well, we will call it scholarship, but we prefer calling it support.
Okay.
Support program for youths.
Which means
and
it's not a total package for those that will be successful.
There's a little package behind it anyway. So, but it's meant for those youths who are not more than 25 years old.
Okay.
They should not be more than 25 years old.
And from the rural area.
From rural areas.
Okay.
Because we observe that most of our institutions, the private school, are urban centered. Most private schools are established in the urban, the big cities. But it's not only in Akwa Ibom only, actually. But we are trying to go to the rural communities and get these young people involved. Provided they had attempted O-level before. They should have attempted O-level before.
Okay, the support is for teacher institution. It's for, you say they should have attempted.
Yeah, they should have attempted O-level before. You see, most of these young people.
No, that's what I mean. Is it for higher institution? They do support for higher institution?
No, not higher institution.
Okay, those that have attempted and probably did not make it.
Exactly so.
Okay.
Exactly so.
Okay.
Now they enroll into the program online. When they log into our website, www.coscience.org, when you log into that site, the first page, you will see Edu Support Program. cosciencegroup.org.
Okay.
That's the first thing I will see on the page. You apply, you register.
Okay, it's operational now.
Exactly so.
Okay.
Once the site is open, we'll see it right away. You register online, you receive a lesson online, because the pandemic has changed the phase of education completely.
Okay.
The pandemic has changed the phase of education. So education is no more a four-wall kind of a thing. No. You stay wherever you want to stay in Akwa Ibom
Online.
State. Get your lessons online.
Okay.
And now only you go back and then make another attempt. But then the lesson you will receive goes beyond O level.
Okay.
It is packaged that you should use your knowledge and then take A-level exams.
Okay.
Yes, when we were at our own time, we used to have HSC,
Okay.
higher school certificates. Most institutions had it then. When you finish your level, you go in or HSC. From HSC, you move to the university. But those things are no more there. So we'll see somebody may leave a secondary school at the point. You need some updates.
But you also talk about online. You know, these people in the rural areas.
Yes.
Do you think they will have much money to do it online? What
Uh,
about, you know, establishing places of contact where it's closer to?
Exactly. We have study centers. We call it study centers where we have teaching aids.
Okay.
It's not, we would not expect somebody to go and buy an Android phone in the rural area. No, we wouldn't. But the program is packaged. Each of them will have a portal.
Okay.
In the portal, you just get your lessons from there. You print it out
Okay. All right.
and you go on.
Okay. Thank you. We take a short break now. When we come back, issues continues. Just stay with us. All right, we are still on to issues, and today we are looking at the private schools and how they develop the educational sector, especially in Akwa Ibom State. And I have as my guest Raphael Inayo. He's the founder and president of Co-Science Group of Institutions in Uyo. And we've been discussing, and you made mention of COVID-19 affecting the educational sector. And how has the COVID-19 affected education in Akwa Ibom State?
The pandemic has really changed the face of doing things in all sectors of economy, including educational, the educational sector too. Before the COVID-19 period, I think we were satisfied with buying textbook, reading, taking exams, and things like that. And maybe having a classroom of 5, 4, 3, even 100 in a class. But now, with the pandemic protocols, there should be social distancing, there should be shield, there should be hand washing, there should be so many things for our own benefits. Meaning that the class size must be pruned down. The teacher's method of teaching should be technology driven. And everything is compelled to be done smartly, no more drudgingly, but very smartly. Yes. School closes 6 months, resume first term 2 months, and the curriculum must be covered within 2 months. That requires smartness and a measure of technology pushed into it. So things have changed.
2 months.
Yes.
And you talk about technology driven.
Yes.
Technology driven. That means we should be at home and probably, you know, go through our studies with our devices, our computers.
That's just
But
part of it.
Yeah, but you still see people are going to school. You know, people are going to school. People are in school. My children are in school now.
Fine.
So definitely, in Nigeria, it's not technological. It's not technology driven.
Okay.
It's you know, we are still going to school.
Yes.
So let's look at the preventive measures. You know.
Let me give a bite to that
Okay.
aspect you just mentioned.
Okay.
Our children, they have phones. Is it not the same phone they use in watching what they shouldn't watch?
But
The same phone.
I'm not talking about the adult children. I'm talking about kids who probably are not able to, you know, use the phone, except for answering calls. You know, I'm talking about children maybe from 0 to 7, 8. You know.
Well, the educational developers, the curriculum planners, they really know the structure required for such group of children. In fact, of recent, the pandemic compelled our children to stay at home and listen to lessons in the radio. And the government was so smart in doing that. That was excellent. But in the same process, you have some children who even refuse to listen to the lesson in the radio. Yes. But some were interested. And those that made use of that opportunity, they had it right. Because we discovered that when we resume, teachers were made to realize that if they teach what is not correct, there's a checker.
Has anybody been brought to book?
Well,
to show somebody was actually, taking note of probably what is not in the syllabus, or the mistakes or whatsoever.
Definitely someone may have been brought to book somewhere, but I may not know. Yes, I may not know. So there was a checker there. So that is technology in principle too. Getting the teachers to do what they are doing. But previously, teacher can go in and just teach anything. But this time, a child can say, look, what we listen to on radio was like this. So it becomes a checker. So that's what we're talking about.
All right, in case you just join us, this is Issues. Our phone line will be on your screen now. You can call and contribute. You can also give us some suggestion. We are looking at the private schools in helping to build the education sector, especially in Akwa Ibom State. And Mr. Ralph, in Akwa Ibom State, schools are running. I don't know, it could happen any other place. I don't know about River State, but I know in my own state here that schools are running third term, whereas in some areas of some parts of the country, schools are running first term. Like I know in Lagos State, I think there was nothing like third term. So in Akwa Ibom here, we are just about running up, third term. How do you think the performance of students will be in this kind of situation?
It has no effect at all.
No effect?
No effect. Because, yes, because the curriculum is there. If the school is supposed to go in for 2 months for the second term or third term, it's just getting the lesson drawn to match with the weeks, making up those months that makes up the term. And now, the teacher who's supposed to have used 3 months that makes up a term is now asked to use 2 months. The difference is 1 month, not so? Difference is 1 month. Now, what stops a teacher redrafting the curriculum to meet up the
this curriculum was already drawn.
Yes.
And I don't know, is your school 2 months?